The storied past of the Tuskegee Airmen is riddled with accomplishments and achievements, but after several decades, some people don't even recognize them.
You walk to the average guy, they don't even know anything about Tuskegee. And it wasn't taught to them in school or anything, naturally, because they had no interest in it.
Asa Herring, one of the original Tuskegee Airmen, has served in the military for over 20 years. In 2007, President Bush gave them the Congressional Gold Medal. He says he's glad to finally be receiving recognition for not only his service, but for those who went before him.
I was proud to accept that too, because some of them said, well, some people said, well, it's 60 years, it's about time for some recognition. And that delay does not diminish the effect that it was supposed to give, to pay homage to some people who have done something for their country.
The Tuskegee Airmen are credited with a nearly perfect record of not losing any U.S. bombers. But the greatest accomplishment may have been they overcame despite the expected failure of the program.
The Air War College had a study done. They came back and said, well, African Americans are not capable because they're subhumans. They don't have the brain capacity because the brains are smaller. They don't have any guts. They won't stand up to a white guy. They don't have the knowledge to fly complicated machinery. They're cowards, and they wouldn't stand up and fight.
But Asa and his fellow pilots proved everybody wrong.
They picked some of the best people they could have found, like B.O. Davis and the gentlemen who were with him, and they made it through fine. And as it progressed, more and more people came in, and the results were overwhelmingly in favor of the Tuskegee Airmen.
At the height of racism and discrimination, the Tuskegee Airmen Experience was birthed. This is the exact replica of the P-51 Mustang that was flown during World War II, where African-American pilots show their expertise. The P-51 Mustang is regarded as the finest fighter plane in the Second World War. Most notably, some of that expertise is in doubt, as Lee Archer is credited with shooting down 5 of Hitler's Superboys.
They couldn't have it that a black guy shot down 5 of Hitler's Superboys, the Luftwaffe, and they didn't want the publicity for the civilian population at the time, which was in separatism was the way of life.
As the airmen continued to fight racism on the home front, former First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt stood in their corner without a doubt.
Chief Anderson flew her, and she said, well, I got safety back on the ground. Her security people didn't want her to get in the airplanes and talk to FDR. And I understand he said, well, you know, Eleanor, she gets her mind made up, let her go.
The support for the airmen was greeted by some with disdain. But then Senator Harry Truman made a stand to right the ship by signing Executive Order 9981, ending segregation in the armed forces.
But Harry said, the buck stops here. He meant it. He lived up to what was right, and he didn't care who stood against him. He'd fight for his right.
It's been over 60 years since Tuskegee Airmen Experiment began. A reunion for original members was held in the 70s, and an organization was found. The Phoenix Valley is home to several original airmen.
The numbers are dwindling, but we visit schools.
The Archer Ragsdale chapter of Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated serves the valley and beyond as historical figures, but more so a bridge, an inspiration for the youth to know the skies are the limits. I'm John Brimley, reporting.